You got some news there, Rudy?
Yeah, so this has been making the rounds this morning. An Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent fatally shot a woman in a vehicle during operations in Minneapolis on Wednesday, according to the Department of Homeland Security. The victim was a U.S. citizen who was an observer and was watching out for our immigrant neighbors, quote unquote. Minneapolis City Council member Jason Chavez told ABC News the woman was allegedly, quote, attempting to run over our law enforcement officers when an ICE officer fatally shot her, according to DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin. Now, I got a friend of mine, Chris Eggert from Channel 5 News. He sent me this video of the shooting. If you guys want to go ahead and play this.
Yeah. We'll play it. Hold on. Oh, you know it's going to be fun? All right, we'll watch the vid. That looks now. She's in the silver car, the gray car?
This one right here. So you can kind of see it behind that sort of beige SUV.
Oh, computer situation. All right, well, let me filibuster for a second while the computer straightens out. This is going to be fun. And Dawson, you got a little homework assignment.
Okay.
Let's see if we can figure out the number of Democratic politicians. Could be the mayor of Minnesota, Minneapolis. Could be anybody in the House or the Senate, right? Democrats. Let's hear the outrage of the male ICE officer blowing away the female citizen versus Officer Byrd and Ashley Babbitt at the Capitol. Because I guarantee there's going to be a slight difference. Now, both of them were male officer shoots unarmed female citizen at close-ish range. The Capitol one is not a great argument for the cop because she's unarmed and didn't really pose a direct threat to him. And so there's probably even a better argument for the SUV because maybe the SUV could have run somebody over. Fine, but let's just say they're both equal. Let's hear the insane outrage we're going to hear from the left about this shooting versus the zero, and that guy deserves a Bronze Service Star.
Yeah.
And now, look, either way, it's a uniformed guy shooting an unarmed woman from 9 feet away. Can we all just agree it's as far as shootings go, there's a lot of nuance, but this is about as apples to apples as we're going to get, right?
Yeah.
Chick shot, officer dude, close by.
I'll start looking, but I fear you've set me to an impossible task.
Yeah.
No, it won't be impossible. You'll find all of the praise put on Officer Byrd, the Capitol policeman, and then you'll find this guy should get the electric chair.
Yeah, you'll see it because Mayor Fry already came out with a statement. We'll play that after we play this video.
All right. So, where's her car?
Right here. You see her?
Silver, SUV.
So his first vehicle comes by.
She's black?
No. She's a white woman. U.S.
No, the
citizen.
car.
Oh, the car is like a dark plum sort of color. Yeah. So it looked black from the first time that I had seen it, but you can tell. So this is where it is.
Oh, that was her?
That was her. So she pulls out, and it's an attempt to hit the officer, who then shoots. You can see that she veers off, hits the vehicle that is parked on the left-hand side of the street.
Right. Right. So she pulled out aggressively, but it's not like the guy was standing in front of the car, right?
You know, that I'm not sure. When Chris had sent this video to me, I said, did it look like she was making an attempt to hit this officer with her vehicle? And he said yes. So I don't know if there's another angle that you can see. That one's a little tougher. Maybe this one is a better one.
Mm-hmm. All right, she's in the dark car.
Yeah.
Officer guy standing there. She's got the window down. Get out of the car, right? They're telling her to get out of the car. She backs up. Get out of the car.
Oh, so there's a guy in front. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so she's driving at the guy. All right, sorry, bitch. You got what you got. But listen, everybody. First off, what happened to chicks? I've been screaming this from the rooftops. Women have gone fucking nuts. We weaponized women. We weaponize them. Also, there's a weird kind of a practicality that women don't grow up with because they don't have rough and tumble play, which is there's that funny footage we played here a couple of times, right? I think it's like out of China or something. And Dawson remembers it. We don't have to revisit it. But there's like 7 Bengal tigers all lined up on the shoreline of their zoo encampment, and like a crane like lands next to them, and the crane's like, "Hey, fuck, you want some lions? Or you want some tigers?" And the tigers are like, they're a little like put off at the beginning, like they're agitated or scared, like what? Whoa, they're like startled. And the bird's like, "Oh, you scared? Good.
Yeah.
You want some more?" And then the tigers at some point go, "Wait a minute, we're tigers. We're 1,400 pounds, and there's 7 of us, and that's 1 4-pound bird."
Yeah.
And then the tigers are just like, "Oh, okay, fuck. Okay, we'll just kill you."
Yeah.
It's such a great clip because it's like the bird lands there, it has no fear, and the bird can just fly away if it wants to. But now the bird is walking toward the tigers, and the tigers are getting agitated, and now it pecks at the tiger. Now it can fly away. It can fly away. It can fly away, but it's not. I bet it's a female bird.
Get out
and
of Minneapolis.
it's going back toward the tigers. Now it's flapping its wings. Like, "All right, tigers, you got trouble." Now lunges at the tigers again, and then at a certain point the tigers go, "Oh wait, let's just destroy the bird." So then it does it a 4th time,
there it goes, yeah.
and now it's ripped into a million pieces. And now all the tigers are doing the gang style initiation with the bird. And the bird's in a million pieces right now. But now here's my whole point. Guys grow up with a healthy fear of stuff and other guys and bigger guys get punched, and you get smacked a couple times, and you kind of learn your P's and Q's and stuff. Women do not do rough and tumble play. And so women, what I've been seeing is like 40-year-old women standing in front of police vans going, "No, you're not going anyway." Like, and the van just starts running, and they're going, "No." And at some point they get knocked over, and they lay on the ground, and they scream, "What's going on?" And it's like, the van is 5,000 pounds. You're 190. You're a little heavy. You're not a pixie.
Yeah, it's after the holidays.
The van has at least 1 ton on you.
Sure.
And you're not going to stop the van.
Yeah.
And the van's driven by nervous dudes who are trying to get out of there and don't think you can stop the van. Women have this thing where, like, cops are holding a gun at them, yelling, "Get out of the car," and you're like, "Oh, fuck this." And it's like, that guy's holding a gun.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, please stop looking at law enforcement as law enforcement. Look at them as dudes with guns who are super nervous about the environment they're in.
I got T-boned by a dude in uptown Minneapolis about 5 years ago. Guy just destroyed my truck. He was doing about 50 to 60 in a residential area and just smoked me. I ended up in some lady's front yard, and there was a girl who was probably about 22, 23. She was out running that day and saw it happen, and she did not leave the scene. And every time this guy wanted to talk, and she was maybe 5'4", maybe 5'3", 105 pounds, and every time this kid who was 23 years old, maybe 6'2", kind of a bigger dude, every time he opened his mouth, she just got right in his face and said, "You shut your fucking mouth. You don't get to talk."
I know. Women do not. Well, they don't do rough and tumble play, so they don't get the proper fear factor.
Of course not. That guy could have decimated her face. One punch would have totally knocked her eyes out, and she was just right in this dude's grill.
Dawson?
Yeah, I got some information for you here. As far as the Democrats who publicly praised Officer Lieutenant Michael Byrd. Michael Byrd stated in interviews that he believed he acted in self-defense and to protect members of Congress. He received support from various lawmakers and public figures. While there isn't a specific count of Democrat officials who praised Byrd, some Democrat leaders and organizers have supported police efforts during the Capitol riots. Generally, the Democratic Party has framed the events of January 6th as an attack on democracy and has often characterized law enforcement's actions as justified.
Yeah, but you're going to get
Now,
Eric Swalwell and Nancy Pelosi. You're going to get specific quotes. AOC is going to have to go American hero, and then with this guy, they're going to call him a cold-blooded killer.
Now, I asked AI the exact same question. I just switched the location and the date and said it's an ICE officer. As of January 7th, 2026, no Democratic government officials have been reported as praising the ICE officer involved in the shooting that resulted in the death of a female motorist in Minneapolis. In fact, local leaders, including Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, have condemned the incident, labeling it as reckless and questioning the claim of self-defense offered by federal officials.
All right, I got it, Austin, but you're still, I mean, that's baked in. We're just going to be funny when the actual individual politicians have two different things
We
to
could
say.
put together a list, but I think it's safe to say 95% of them have praised.
Listen, Dawson, understood very clearly it's my premise. I'm saying you're going to have funny A's and B's.
Sure, yeah.
When you get AOC's official comment on this, and you get
100%.
Chuck Schumer's official comment on that.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of Fry, did you guys find that video? This happened over the airwaves. This happened, I don't know, maybe about 45 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
This is his message
Fry.
to ICE, yeah.
Yeah,
Jacob
this is
Fry.
great. Yeah, he's awesome. He's going to get that city right back on its feet. He's awesome. Also, listen, let me tell you the other thing. It's very chick-like behavior. Sorry. But anyone who's really dealt with it knows. They start the incident and then scream, get out, stop, I don't want this, whatever. And it's like, listen, Fry, we'll play his clip, but ICE is doing a job. You don't have to go out there in your minivan and get in their face. You can do this. And then, so the whole Democratic thing is somebody does their job, you get out there, you chuck a rock at the person who's doing their job, and then when that person shoots you in the leg, you claim to be a victim. Mm-hmm. All right, here we go.
Better, but I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here.
Right.
Your stated reason for being in the city is
hold on. We got Somalis who want to open daycare centers. Now get on out. Come on now. You're interrupting our business.
Yeah. Also, did you notice the sign language lady? Yeah.
Did she
you
do the fuck?
back it up a little bit? Yeah.
Did she do the fuck?
There we go.
By the way, every progressive city has the black female police chief standing back there now, which is funny.
To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here.
Nah.
And then
Out.
Drops the
she
bird.
says. Yeah. God, these fucking guys are idiots. I hope he gets into fucking trouble, too, with all this whole Somali bullshit.
You would think he'd be, yeah. Real quick, if you ever get a chance, I'll show you this video when we're in Colorado this weekend. Speaking of animals and, the way animals work and how people are so flabbergasted by it, there's a video where they smash cut all these. There's a little yippy dog in Florida who runs up to the swamp.
Yeah.
And he's nipping at gators and never gets him. And then on the sixth one, finally one of them gators just goes, that's it. And just takes this little bastard right by the back of the neck and drags him into the water. And the whole family's like, no, why? Well, I don't know. Maybe put your goddamn dog on a leash when there's gators around.
It's a real thing, which is I've told people, listen, blonde ladies who want to get into the grill of large black men and slap them, they punch back.
Yeah.
Statistically, more so than Jews or Asians. So I've seen so much. You go on the internet and see 2,000 hours of some blonde chick slapping some ex-NFL linebacker at a club, and that guy just fucking throws a straight right and knocks her out. Mm-hmm. You must have an appreciation for this. They don't grow up with this. They grow up fucking around with Barbie dolls, and we grow up wrestling and roughhousing and shooting BB guns at each other. So we can figure it out. They can't. Now they're all on meds. They've all been fucking weaponized. They've all been told they're fucking She-Ra, Lord of the Jungle, and some kind of hero. And now they're going out and getting in front of ICE fans. And you can hear their leaders talk. Their leaders are like, hey, Karen Bass sits there and goes, you want to come in here and mess with us, ICE? You're going to find out, because we're not going to stand. You have Maxine Waters. She's 86 and a half. She's a feeble old fucking nut job. She's Aunt Esther from Sanford and Son. And she's like, you want to come in here, ICE? You got to go through me first. Yeah, bitch. a good fart would take your ass out. There'd just be a wig sitting there. So shut the fuck up. You're getting people killed. So they do all the hero, you got to come through me. You want to come into this town? Not on my watch. You got to come through me first. It's like the spindly lesbian mayor of Seattle's like, you're coming through me. Or I like when Pritzker does it. You're morbidly obese, fat ass. We got to go through you. That's going to be super easy to go through. You make all these proclamations, and at some point, dumb people hear it, and they go, ICE is in town, we're going to take the minivan down there. You got to go through me. And then the next thing you know, the guy's got his fucking gun drawn, and you're like, you do? Well, you got to go through me. And next thing you know, you have a bullet in your neck. So knock it the fuck off. Stop talking about it, and women, stay home.
Ask any good psychologist, and they would tell you that subconsciously these people want this to happen to them. They want to get hurt. They want to have some, maybe not take a bullet in the face.
No. I'm sorry, but I don't think they want it to happen. They don't understand it like the bird didn't understand the Bengal tigers. The bird did not want to be taken apart by the Bengal tigers.
Sure.
The bird didn't understand it, and he encroached. And when he saw the Bengal tigers like flinch, he was like, oh, now I got you. This is the whole thing the Middle East does. They go, oh, America, you're scared. Like, no, we're not scared. We just don't feel like fucking wasting any harpoon missiles on you this weekend. And then we fucking dust them. All right. Now we got you. All right. We got to bring it home. Tomorrow, by the way, and Saturday, me and Rudy are going to be in Colorado Springs, Looney's Comedy Corner. And then Sunday, we added a second show. Sorry, Rudy.
Can't wait.
Yeah, first show sold out. Second show at the Comedy Works is added. You can go to adamcarolla.com. What spots do you got,
I'll
Rudy?
be with you in Colorado, but a big show happening January 16th, St. Cloud, Minnesota, the red carpet, main stage. They very seldom have comedy shows there. It's a great music venue, but one of the best in central Minnesota. So please, January 16th, go to rudypavichcomedy.com, grab a ticket.
Oh, so I'm laughing at something about something. AdamCarolla.com for all live stuff. Until next time, Adam Carolla for Rudy Pavich and Louis C.K. saying mahalo. This is
Elizabeth Warren.
Elizabeth Warren explaining how finances, economics work.
Uh-oh.
Have you seen
So I've
this?
been trying to make
She
this
studied it, you know. She
Yeah, go
she
back.
lets us know all the time.
On the reservation. Yes.
So I've been trying to make this video to show you what wealth inequality looks like in America.
Oh, boy.
I wanted to compare how much wealth the average American has compared to Elon Musk. And I wanted to do it with M&Ms. But it turns out that to make that happen, I need to get 6.5 million M&Ms. That's right. Elon Musk has 6.5 million times more wealth than the typical American.
By the way,
If you were to
if I were having this conversation with any woman I've known, she'd go, well, he's got some kind of sweet tooth, doesn't he? I'd go, no, you're not lit. I'm trying to explain. Can you imagine us having this conversation with your wife? Elon loves M&Ms. I don't like the regular ones. I like the peanut ones. This would drift over into, well, then her friend would go, I like peanut butter cups, and then you'd be off and running.
Paydays.
Off and running. Man, I'll tell you, Halloween this year is a little bit of a disappointment. That'd be it. All right, go ahead. Here we go.
Elon Musk has 6.5 million times more wealth than the typical American. If you were to visualize it, this is you and this is Elon Musk.
Oh, man, you got,
So
hold
then
on.
I thought, okay.
You got to figure out how to survive on 124,000 M&Ms. Chuck, do you think you could get by on 124,000 M&Ms?
Depends. Peanut M&Ms or regular M&Ms?
Oh, that's the rub, isn't it? I got no
surprised.
time for the regular people.
I'm actually surprised the average American has that much wealth. available.
M&Ms?
That much M&Ms available. Because I keep hearing horror stories about how everyone's in debt, no one has money, and
I am surprised that the average American has $124,000 worth of wealth. I've got to believe that that's just a farm or a house or some.
Well, yes, but it's also probably got to have a weird variance to it.
Oh yeah, it's got to have a weird, got to have a lot of swing. To it. Like a lot of those people got to be worth 375, and a lot of have to be minus 20.
Right.
I'm guessing.
Correct.
But also in a world where I'm calculating this. My grandmother house was $12,000.
Right.
It's now 1.7 million or whatever it is. Got paid off in 1966. You know what I mean? Stepdad's living in it. Okay, but my mom, you got one house for 12,000. You got one for 10. You know what I mean? All you have to do is sit around like my mom and survive it, and you're going to end up being $700,000-800,000 to the good.
Right. That's right.
I think a lot of that is that.
Well, but yes, but that's real. I mean, that throughout history, that's not inconsequential.
No, I agree. I wonder if it's gone up more.
But why? I mean, why?
Anyway, let her finish. You have 124,000 M&Ms, and Elon has 627 billion. So, what is her plan with this M&M redistribution?
Okay. All right.
Musk. So then I thought, okay, if M&Ms are too much, what if we did it with rice? Turns out we need a 350-pound bag of rice to do that. And frankly, it would be a safety hazard to try to carry something like that in. Wealth inequality.
Safe.
All right.
Safe.
It's so funny. I watched this 3 times, and it always cracks me up. Like, that's just a bad edit. Like, you have to talk about some OSHA mandated thing where you have to put on a belt to lift this stuff. It's like it's just you're using metaphor. You know what I mean?
Yes.
When no one's. I'm not going to go, hey bitch, where's the rice? Where is the rice? All right, sorry.
God.
Go ahead. It's funny.
And frankly, it would be a safety hazard to try to carry something like that
Safe.
here. Wealth inequality in this country is so out of control, it's hard to even visualize. And that's one of the many reasons why I introduced my wealth tax in Congress. It's a 2-cent tax on every dollar someone has after they hit the $50 million mark. And then a 3-cent tax on every dollar someone has
Now
after
pause
they
it
hit
there.
$1 billion.
Government is the only place that goes this direction with money, which is to say, every other in every other facet of society, if you read the fine print on any high-end automotive auction, it'll say, Gooding and Company, it'll say something like they take a 13% premium on any sale under 100,000. Right. Any sale over, it's 10%.
Right.
And if it gets over 10 million, they'll take 6% or whatever it is. It goes that direction because it's going that direction. The government and
I'm not sure people get the point you're making. State it more clearly.
What I'm saying is
Chuck,
they do this thing all the time where they go, Adam's the rich guy, and he pays the same percentage or same percentage as Chuck, the poor guy. Okay, Chuck, the poor guy, pays in $6,200 a year, and I pay in $2 million a year. So I should pay a much lower percentage. I should pay in 10% when Chuck pays in 40%, and then his 40% would be $8,000, and then my 10% would be $720,000, and I'd be contributing a lot more than Chuck. But instead, their argument is Chuck pays 30%, and that's $6,200. Carolla pays $2 million, but he's only paying 30%. He shouldn't be paying the same. He should be paying 40%. Well, that's a fucking backwards argument. That's like saying if you sell VW Beetle, the auction house will charge 10%, and that sale was $27,000. Yeah. But if you buy a Lamborghini and it's $1 million, we want 20%.
Right.
That's backwards. Well, and by the way, the mansion tax is the same fucking thing. The mansion tax in LA is if it's under 5 million, it's 4%. But if it's over 10 million, it's 5%. It's like, why? You should be going the other direction with this.
And I think when the history books are written, perhaps the most significant statement Trump ever made was, if it can happen to me, it'll happen to you. And this is them. You're talking about income tax. This is asset.
I get it.
This is stealing.
No, it's stealing, but so is the mansion tax.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
it's a property tax, right? Isn't it?
I mean, it's for most people.
Property tax is stealing too. Let's be
for
fair.
most people, all their asset is in their house.
Yeah.
But again, once again, you're going to a higher percentage when you get to 10 million. You should get a break. Every entity works that way.
Well,
and by the way, when there's no such thing as me saying, look, when you sign up for anything, you sign up for a subscription or something, whatever, they go, well, 3 months, it's $60. We do 6 months, it'll be $49.
Right.
And do a year,
Always
it'll
goes
be
less.
$37.
Yes.
Like you buy 10 hot dogs, that's $20. But if you buy 40 hot dogs, that'll be $35, right? Everything is that way except the fucking government,
So
which means they don't know anything about, which means they have a gun.
It's the anti-Costco mechanism.
Right.
And the fact that this is now asset acquisition, which they've never done before. Government has never done before. This means they don't stop here. They never stop.
Oh,
they always
why
keep going.
would they? They only have one direction.
Right.
Her and Newsom kind of deploy a sort of sincerity thing that you go, oh yeah, like you have no fucking idea. She has no idea what she's talking about.
Well, it's interesting that I wonder. Newsom drives me more crazy with that stuff than she does.
She's pretty.
But I'm wondering if women respond the way I do to Newsom,
maybe
from Elizabeth Warren. I don't know.
All right, so she's actually explaining that Elon Musk has a lot more than we do, so he should pay a wealth tax, and then they could get things. Let's see what.
Why don't we add up his contribution to the economy and the workforce and
come on, Drew,
hard assets that he's building?
No. All right, let's just see what we could do with his money.
It's got to be 10 times what he has because he's just a stockholder. Sorry, go ahead.
And that's one of the many reasons why I introduced my wealth tax in Congress. It's a 2-cent tax on every dollar someone has after they hit the $50 million mark. And then a 3-cent tax on every dollar someone has after they hit the $1 billion
every
mark.
year?
You know what we could do with that money? We could make universal child care a reality, build millions of new homes and lower housing costs, lower the Medicare eligibility age to 55, deliver universal paid family leave, establish tuition-free community college.
This is their plan.
Still have money left over.
Right. Now hold on a second.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I want to be clear about.
Yeah.
You guys can't build a fucking dirt bridge over the 101 for a butterfly and a cougar for under $200 million. So you can't do anything.
Yeah.
Now, ironically, the guy you're stealing the money from could do this. So I would abide if you just went, we're going to take this money, but we're not taking it from Elon. Elon, we need you to use it.
Yeah.
You fuck ups, you're going to have universal health care and child care and free tuition. You guys can't pull anything off.
That's the part they don't get.
Right. And their whole...
But there must be people that believe him.
By the way...
which I find hard to believe.
So how are you calculating this, too? Because you told us 10 minutes ago, you told us we're going to get a bullet train from L.A. to San Francisco for $20. Now it's $120 billion. So when you're calculating this, you know what I mean? You're going, well, how much for free housing? That'd be $1 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then how much for pre-K and prenatal and 700,000? All right, what are we at? 1.7? Well, shit.
We got it.
We got it. No, you guys don't have anything. All you do is waste money. And by the way, all these programs she's talking about, wide open to fraud.
Oh, of course.
And abuse.
Of course.
Right. So
that's all they will be. Well, they already have stuff like that. Why don't they examine what they've got, make it more streamlined,
by the way, is community college out of reach financially for anybody?
Isn't mostly that a state thing? That it's free, the state helps with that.
My mom went to junior college for 17 years, so don't tell me it's not affordable.
By the way, just stop for a second and ask yourself, was the Constitution established for all that? Isn't that the state's responsibility or the county?
Yes.
And then, yeah, they need some funding from the federal government, but it's not their responsibility.
Go back a little bit, like 20 seconds, just because it's funny. What could we get? Here's what we could
Eligibility
get.
age to 55.
By the way, stop. We should be raising the Medicare eligibility age. It's designed for people that are retired. People are retired. I saw a really interesting study yesterday that said the retirement age in America now is either 35 or 85.
Right.
Those are the two retirement ages.
Right.
So 35 doesn't need Medicare.
All right, here we go.
You know what we could do with that money?
Let's
We
hear
could
it.
make universal child care a reality, build millions of new homes, and lower housing costs.
That's
Lower
gonna
the
happen.
Medicare eligibility age to 55. Deliver universal paid family leave. Establish tuition-free community college. And still have money left over. This is just one way we can start to unrig the economy and lower costs for families.
We're going to unrig it.
Let's get this done.
It's rigged because Elon Musk rigged it.
He rigged it with his crony capitalism. Two things that start with a C. Together. Alliteration, Drew. I don't know. The question is what is attractive about this fucking nonsense in 2026?
Money. Give me money. Give me.
No, she wants money. What happened
People
to
believe that
heads?
they're not. I think everyone lives in such echo chambers. I spent my morning on Blue Sky.
Mm-hmm.
Fraud and abuse does not exist there.
Oh, I see. Mm-hmm.
So if they don't know about it, how are they gonna really understand that that's what's happening? And certainly, the kickback laundering thing, that's a conspiracy theory.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, Adam. What does coming down the pike mean? I've heard you say it a few times, but I don't know what a pike is. I also hear people say coming down the pipe, and that makes sense, but what's coming down the pike? Okay, that's all.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Well, I'm guessing it's the turnpike coming down the pike. They don't do turnpike out here in L.A. or California, but there's turnpikes where you're from, right, Andrew?
They sure do.
Yeah, so you got
Route 30, Lancaster Turnpike.
We have highways and freeways, but we don't have pikes.
Yeah, and
Pike sounds old to me.
that's correct. Yeah, it's an East Coast thing.
So coming down the pike must be coming down the...
Comes from Turnpike.
Yeah. All right. And a weird thing about California is funny because California is environmentally super conscious, but also does a lot of stuff that ruins the environment, like burns the place down on a pretty regular basis and stuff like that. We also like to burn Tesla dealerships and stuff, which I'm guessing no car is worse for the atmosphere than a Tesla in terms of burning that Tesla to the ground. Whatever it's unleashing heavy metals and all, it's all plastic and heavy metals.
Lithium ion batteries.
It's all a disaster. But anyway, we thought we should burn Teslas to the ground. But there's a funny thing I forgot about. There's a coffee shop in Malibu that I go to on occasion. And I hate waste. And I will get a cup of water from the coffee shop, or I have, and they give it to you in a plastic cup. And at some point, I drank the cup of water, but I wanted to dump some water in my canteen as I continued my journey, my walk. So I go back to the counter, and I have the plastic cup, and I say to the same guy who filled it up for me and handed it to me, he's got the little spigot behind him, I go, can you put some water in this cup and give it back to me? And his answer is, by law, I have to throw away the cup and give you a new plastic cup. And I'm like, I thought we didn't like plastic being thrown away. And it's a pretty stout plastic cup. And I'm standing right here, and he can't turn around, fill it up, and hand it back to me because there's a code. There's a health code that says no reusing of the cups. Okay, but you're the guys lecturing us on plastics and plastic straws and the environment, but you won't reuse the cup.
Yeah, you'd think that would be like the Venn diagram for you.
That's California. If you want a snapshot of California, it's we talk the most about plastic while throwing away the most plastic cups because of shitty health ordinances.
Yeah.
That's them. That's all. If someone said, describe California and how it works to someone who's never even heard of the word California, I'd go, here's their policy. And they'd go, that doesn't make sense. And you'd go, exactly. Next question. All right. The other thing that I wanted to get into. Now, I don't know why hyperbole bothers me. It always bothers me. I'm the worst guy to stand next to when you're trying to tell a story that's hyperbolic, because I always then go, no, it wasn't that bad. No, there wasn't that many people there. No, it was fine. But when men do it, it bothers me more. I don't know why. I don't mind a chick exaggerating, because that's just what they do. But when men do it, it bothers me more.
Yeah, because engaging the imagination that's the act of a child.
Yes, thank you. And Cory Booker decided he needed to go to the airport and engage in a lot of insane rhetoric that at some point I think we're just going to have to call him a liar, because he goes to the airport and they start talking about ICE, because, of course, he's very upset about ICE showing up at the airport. Remember 10 minutes ago when Trump moved the embassy from, Jerusalem, or from, wherever to Jerusalem, and they all said the Middle East was going to burn down, and nothing happened?
Yeah.
Right. Every 10 minutes, they tell us what's going to happen, and then nothing happens. But they never circle back and ever give us a progress report after nothing ever happens. This is Cory Booker at an airport explaining what's going to go on with ICE. By the way, it doesn't help your case to have 4-year-old toddlers walking back and forth and moms with roller bags just going about their business.
Yeah.
You need ICE officers stabbing lesbians to really drive your point home. But here's his description of what ICE has been up to for the last several months.
And so what's happening today in America that should outrage everybody? He's taking this very same agency that has been bursting into our schools, into our churches, into our hospitals, into our courts, and even into the homes of Americans. He's taking that agency that is reckless and out of control and bringing them to our airports. Under the lie that somehow this is going to help deal with the long lines that he created in the first place. This is an outrage.
All right. Everyone's outraged. They're always outraged until they move on to the next thing they're outraged about.
Yeah.
How are they bursting into church? I thought that was Don Lemon who did that. They're bursting into churches, hospitals, courts. Well, they do go to courts when the illegal's being arraigned, because you guys won't hand them over. So they'll do the court thing.
Yeah, there's definitely
schools. They're going to schools, everybody. Flight schools? What kind of schools?
That was a calm-looking airport. There's not enough bedlam.
He set up a podium and had a sound guy there with a microphone and everything.
Yes, because we're outraged. Les, first off, TSA guys, not Green Beret, Special Forces.
I would watch that movie, though.
Not that caliber of security guard. Think more. When I think TSA, think more. Remember the fat chicks that were guarding Trump when he got shot in the ear? Think more of them.
It's more of a Paul Blart.
A little more Paul Blart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A little. Yeah. I think a little more Paul Blart.
Yeah.
That's what you want to think
Mall Cop.
It's Mall Cop. Okay. So they can be replaced by anybody, number one. Number two, the reason the lines are long is because a lot of them stayed home. So if you replace them, then the lines would get shorter, which they have. But again, according to lying Cory Booker, it's a problem. But yeah, think more Paul Blart and less John Wick.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying when you picture your average TSA agent. As far as I would like you to think a little more on Esther from Sanford and Son. All I ever do is get yelled at by older black women who are in front of the line somewhere doing something to me because I'm in charge of systemic racism. All right, so Cory Booker's a lying douche. And I guess he knows he's lying. Does anyone ask him questions like when you go churches, schools, what are you really talking about? Are there instances of this? And if there are, and CNN decided to not run with it, is that what you're suggesting?
I don't know. I think he's probably trying to bump up his numbers on the poly market chart. He's not looking great right now. It's still Gavin by a lot.
Well, the truth is, if they repeat a lie enough times, everyone believes
he said inject bleach. Yeah, okay. All right. Except for no one ever injected bleach. Now, do you have the poor 18-year-old girl who was shot by the illegal in Chicago as part of your thing?
Sheridan Gorman, 18 years old. She was a student at Loyola University and sadly was killed last week. And so the Chicago lawmaker, Alderman Maria Hadden of Chicago, is being torn apart on Twitter for kind of the dumbest take.
Well, hold on. Before we play it, it's an 18-year-old girl who went out to see the Northern Lights or something at night, and there's an illegal 25-year-old who shot her in the back when she was trying to run from this guy. It's kind of a weird. Okay, if you're a person that can shoot a stranger in the back who didn't grab your laptop and run, just a person that's sort of walking around, you're capable of anything in terms of violence.
Well, she was running away.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's insane. She shows up with this guy who was caught at the border and then let in under Biden and then brought to a sanctuary city, which is, look, whether you're an illegal or a drug addict, you're going to go where the getting's good. And if San Francisco is a good place to be a drug addict, then you will end up in San Francisco. And if Chicago's a sanctuary city and Dade County, Florida isn't a sanctuary state or city, then you're going to go to Chicago over the place that is not as hospitable to your illegal ass being there. But they caught him at the border. Then they sent him. He ended up in Chicago. Then he got arrested, but for theft. And then instead of handing him over to ICE, they did not. He was released back in Chicago, and then at some point he kills an innocent 18-year-old girl that no one on the left cares about because it hurts their narrative. But this is
Alderwoman Maria Hadden.
All right, so she has a take on what may have happened.
Yeah.
The kids were out doing normal things people do in the neighborhood, and it sounds like this might have been a wrong place, wrong time, running into a person who had a gun. They might have startled this person at the end of the pier unintentionally, but that's all we know. So
she startled this guy. He was going down to the end of the pier to get his thoughts together.
Yeah,
and she startled him.
No,
because she was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Everyone who gets murdered is in the wrong place at the wrong time.
But she's talking about this guy. She's startled like he's a mountain lion in Hollywood Knoll, and you were just fucking around with his nest or something. Like it's insane.
She has to do this. They can't not do this. By the way, the two idiots who got shot by ICE, they had to say something and go to the memorial and lay a wreath at or whatever. These people, the people that aren't agitating ICE and getting in the way of law enforcement procedures and fighting with them, these people are just not good for their narrative, and they hate that they were shot by an illegal. So in a weird way, they have to try, and it's a really ghoulish thought. I'm going to transfer some of the responsibility on the 18-year-old citizen to try to lighten the load of the illegal who we let stay in our sanctuary city.
Yeah, I mean, the mixed messaging here is insane because it's like you're not supposed to victim blame, but that's exactly This is
could have
victim blaming.
startled him. Innocent mistake. He had a gun. That's the real problem. They ran, and she was gunned down in the back by the startled person with the gun, idiot. Chuck, you can look up her webpage because we were looking her up. She is the problem with every major city in the United States, every blue city. She is the problem. And you guys are like, what are you talking about, Adam? Her life is not about filling potholes, solving your problems, filling up aqueducts, rapid transit, or anything like that. It's all about the movement. By the way, Dawson, did you know that she is the first black lesbian older person in Chicago's history? Did you know that? That'll be great news to the grieving family.
That's great. Problem solved.
This is her district, by the way. There's something about a few paragraphs down that show her.
Yeah,
Maria has been a leader in Chicago through her organizing. She's organizing and advocacy. She's an advocate of organizing, participatory. Where's that? Buggering? What's she doing? She's
budgeting.
Oh, budgeting lives.
Budgeting in Chicago. She lives with her spouse, Natalia, and their cattle dog, Finn, in the Pratt Ashland Cooperative.
She's in a co-op. She's in a co-op.
Yeah. She enjoys living in a place where neighbors are friends and the community is family. And she is proud of her community's resilience and motivation to work together in difficult situations. In her free time, Maria is a photographer and artist who enjoys screen printing and carpentry.
Does she sound like someone who's going to fix infrastructure?
No,
to you? Don't put it down. It's her next line that I like the best.
Okay, before becoming alderwoman, Maria Haddon was the executive director of Our City, Our Voice, a national nonprofit organization she founded to enable communities and local governments across the country to redesign democracy for more empowered and equitable participation.
We're going to redesign. We're going to reimagine. We're going to everything.
Yeah, her expertise in public participation is grounded in grassroots organizing efforts for social change.
All right. So everyone, the problem with the blue cities is, and by the way, we have Mayor Bass, so we have another Dumbo who'd rather be in Ghana instead of anticipating a huge scale fire. These people are not interested in the potholes and in the reservoirs and in crime and all the boring stuff that makes a city safe for its citizens. They want to celebrate with the gay flag in the community and look at systemic this and systemic that and enact change. They're not interested. By the way, I'm not interested in their shit. If I was an older person in Chicago, guess how many gay flag ceremonies and LGBT whatever I would go to? Zero? I would go to zero because I wouldn't be interested in it. They are not interested in what you're interested in as far as the city. They're interested in change and what the new face of the city looks like and so on and so forth. So thus, if you get a bunch of these people in positions of power, then whatever the gay pride talk's going to go up tenfold, but the potholes are not going to get filled because that's not where their interest lies. Karen Bass, mayor of Los Angeles, is not interested in the nuts and the bolts of the city. Nithya Raman is interested in going down to Hyperion Boulevard in Silver Lake and taking down signs about U-turns so gay guys can cruise the neighborhood and fuck on people's lawns. That's where her priorities are. If I was in charge, I'd want to go after graffiti and garbage and crime and homelessness and aqueducts and forest management and things like that. But she's not interested in that. And we get a whole bunch of people that aren't interested. And I don't even think it's not even a pejorative. It's just to say, I've never had a girlfriend or a wife or a woman in my life where we've had real talks about infrastructure, building, taxes, and things like that. They're not interested in it. And then we elected a bunch of them, and the city is run accordingly.
Yeah.
We're getting what we voted for. We voted for people that aren't interested in the boring nuts and bolts part. They're interested in the ceremonial part of being in charge.
Yeah.
Their idea of being in charge is going to a cocktail party and telling everyone what their title is, but not getting up Monday morning and dealing with cracked sidewalks.
No. And coming up with fun names for nonprofits.
That's right. Euphemistic titles. Also, I want to say this to all the assholes out there. Everyone who goes, we need to deport violent criminals, and instead we're deporting just people who are here, who cross the border, looking for a better life. Okay, so your claim. Now, my point is if you're here illegally, we can get rid of you. I would like to start with the violent criminals, but if you're here illegally, we can get rid of you. Okay, so their whole thing is these guys are just folks that are fleeing oppression, that come here and they're looking for a better life. This guy that murdered this 18-year-old in cold blood, shot her in the back, just snuffed her out. This evil, wicked, ghoulish person only run-in with the law was shoplifting.
Yeah.
So he got busted for shoplifting and they let him out. And if we picked up the story there, Cory Booker and every one of these politicians and all the assholes on CNN would go, this guy is a poor guy. He shoplifted probably just to feed his family. He's hardworking and whatever. Okay, that's true. He's not a violent criminal. He's a shoplifter who then snuffed out an 18-year-old later on. He became a violent criminal.
Yeah.
So this thing of like, oh, this guy only stole a car, and this guy only drove drunk, and this guy only copped some razzles or something. Fine. This guy was a shoplifter when he's 23, and he's a murderer at 25.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Let's get rid of him when he's a shoplifter.
Yeah.
Or not let him in the fucking country at all. How about that? How about that? And also, the other thing is, this dude is 25. He's going to sit in one of our prisons for 60 years. You understand? And it's going to be a maximum security. He's getting life, and we are going to pay $75,000 a year for this guy for the next 50 or 60 years while he's incarcerated. We're going to feed him, and at some point he's going to need medical attention, and he's never going to pay a penny in taxes, and he's going to cost us millions and millions. This one guy who Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, border czar, led into this country, one guy not only snuffed out this person at 18, but we are going to spend millions of dollars, courts, medical, prisons, court-appointed attorneys, counselors. At some point, he's going to sue the state of Illinois because he was mistreated in prison. One guy we let in.
Yeah, I just Googled it. $50,000 a year
is going to cost.
That's how much it costs to incarcerate someone in Illinois.
All right, and he's going to be around for 60 years because you don't tend to OD and you don't smoke a lot in prison. So let's see, 5 times 6 is 30. Is this guy going to cost us $3 million? Did I figure that one out?
That's correct.
So it's going to be $3 million just to keep him incarcerated, not to mention there's going to be a lot of other expenses attached to this guy. Because we let one guy in, it's millions of dollars, and an 18-year-old will never see her 19th birthday. Thanks, Joe Biden. Good, but Joe Biden's a good dude, right? It's good.
Well, this is like that tweet you liked about weaponized empathy.
100%. Where is that clip?
That's
do we have that?
Yeah, we have that. That's a liked tweet.
Yes. Women are much more empathetic than men, and they have a hard time putting people in prison and punishing people. So they let them back out, and then their empathy seems to go out the window for the 18-year-old that got snuffed out by the person they let hang out in their sanctuary city, though. That part, that's where the empathy tends to go. Chuck, you find that clip and you'll...
While he's looking for that, I can move on to the next story and we can circle back to this. Speaking of shitty governments, Los Angeles has just announced it's going to greenlight a staggering $250 million expansion to LAX, the LAX project, up from $13 million.
Hold on. The clip's ready now, so we'll circle back to
it's ready?
LAX.
Okay, great.
Here we go. Who is this speaking, by the way? Well,
J.D. Haltigan.
J.D. Haltigan, who's a something. All right, well, here's what he has to say.
See what he has to say.
I think what's happened is we've come to basically hijack the feminine ethic of care, the feminine impulse to be empathetic, particularly on the left, has become what I view as a completely feminized Democratic Party, where empathy is weaponized. And so, we see more women in college. We see less men, in the humanities, in social sciences. And sort of the systemizing element, which is really what underlies how things are ordered in society, how things function, has been, there has been basically more or less discarded or seen as not important. Masculinity is really what will track personality-wise with systemization, and femininity is really sort of the analogy with empathization. And if a society becomes completely feminine, all kinds of chaos will ensue because you don't have any sort of rule-based, lawful, statistically minded, quantitatively focused.
Pause it for a second. So when I tell you Los Angeles thinks like a chick, we're chick-based thinking. That's why we have all the fucking chaos and the the chickiest based thinking city is San Francisco, and that's why they're fucked, right? And then if you go to the dude-based thinkers, then you have, I don't know, Galveston, Texas, or something like that. But even within a place like Texas, you can have Austin, which is a little slice of chick think in the middle of Texas, which will now have a bunch of homeless people in it. But, in 50 years, we'll all be chicks. I tried to warn everybody years ago. All right. Continue. Sorry.
No, that's
lawful, statistically minded, quantitatively focused orientation to why we have laws, why we have rules, why we need order, why we need immigration law, and so forth. And so I think that's really what's happened is we've reached a threshold in society where one party is completely feminized. They see the Trump side, right, conservative, as sort of the masculine embodiment, and these two forces are clashing right now. And you see this playing out all over the place. And, masculinity's been a huge topic of pundit writing online and so forth, but, it's all the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you're destroying our society with chick think, everybody. Knock it the fuck off. The answer is not more women in politics. Jesus Christ.
In the words of Al Pacino in Heat, empathy was yesterday. Today you're wasting my fucking time.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going back to the airport.
This is California Post. Yeah, LA greenlights a staggering $250 million expansion to an LAX project to help alleviate traffic in the Ring Road. So it was $13 million. They added $250 million. It's now a grand total of $308 million. I don't know where that other money came from. It makes no sense. But you would be happy to hear this. The city officials have cleared the project under a categorical exemption from the California Environmental Quality Act. So it allows it to move forward without a full environmental review, which would have been another...
Again, we burn the city down every 4 years, and we're worried so much about the environmental impact of building a monorail or something. Yeah, every time we try to do something in California in some sort of timely fashion, the only way we can do it is go, all right, listen, we've set aside and dropped all the retarded regulations that usually doesn't allow us to build anything at any time for any amount of money in any time. We took our own stupid rules and we suspended them. They're your rules. You can get rid of them if you don't want them.
Yeah.
If all they do is clog up the works, which is all they do. So it's like, I don't know, it's like your dad and you're going on a road trip with your family and you're like, good news, I've suspended all my retarded rules for myself so we can actually make it to Oregon and not stop every 15 minutes and circle every light post and listen to nothing but Eagles songs on the way there. I've taken my horrible ideas that I've imposed on all of you and I've dropped them. By the way, no other place has any of these ideas, which is the part that's always a weird thing. Like I said, if you order anything online, there's only one state they don't ship to. Like, oh, I want a flueless, gas-powered, log-burning fireplace. Yeah, we ship not California. Not California. How do other cities get along? How do other states get along? Like, how do they function without all the rules that we impose?
I have no idea. It's going to get interesting too, because I think right now we're about 28 months away from hosting the Olympics.
Oh, I love, there's a part of life, I don't know why, I like it when all of a sudden we get our shit together part, it's like, oh, Mayor Bass has put a homeless commission together and she's out cleaning up encampments and stuff like, now.
Or Xi Jinping is visiting San Francisco.
Right.
Yeah.
Newsom does something. By the way, that clip of Newsom, Dawson, when he's like, I know you guys think that I just cleaned up the city because the premier of China was coming. Well,
it's true.
Because it's true.
Because it's true.
No,
that's full retard thing right there.
That is Rick James in the Chappelle Show saying he didn't kick Eddie Murphy's couch and then going, yeah, I kicked his couch.
I got to find that clip. That is my favorite clip of all. Oh, the other thing I wanted, sorry, I told Andrew, but we didn't make the list. It was a kind of a hectic day. The Chicago alderwoman doing the wrong place, wrong time, like maybe.
Oh, no, we have it up. It's Chuck, it's that Ilhan Omar.
Yeah, like he was at the Dawson. This is the same thing. Like play the alderwoman one more time first, and then I'll play you the global version of this. More chick think, by the way, more dumb chick think. But here we go.
The kids were out doing normal things people do in the neighborhood. And it sounds like this might have been a wrong place, wrong time, running into a person who had a gun. They might have startled this person at the end of the pier unintentionally. But that's all we know. So if the kids were out,
wrong place is living in Chicago. Wrong time is now with you idiots in charge. Ilhan Omar, when she had to explain 9/11.
CARE was founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something and that all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties.
She's more worried about her not getting hassled when she goes to the bodega than the 3,000 people that are dead.
Yeah, some people.
One more time. It's great. I love it. Some people did. By the way, if anyone said Ilhan Omar, who is she? 8 seconds. I'd go watch this tape. She's dumb. But by the way, she's so fucking annoying. She's angry all the time because she's a millionaire. Okay, there it is.
CARE was founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something and that all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties.
By the way, what's it, 7 years ago or something? What access? You mean being able to rip off the fucking government? Is that, you're talking about access to ripping off the government with a bunch of daycare bullshit from your Somalian friends?
All right, so it's January 31st, 2023, Dawson, is that what?
Yeah. All right. So she lost that. Anyway, that's chick thing. Guy was maybe down at the pier, maybe got startled at the pier, and then later some people did some things, and let's eat lunch. All right, well, that sounds like a reasonable explanation, and chick thing.
Okay. Now to the other side of the country. This is Kathy Hochul. She finally admits that the economy-killing climate law is bad for New York, and she should probably end it. Now, this is the 2019 Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act that was signed into law by Cuomo.
You know what I love with all these fucking politicians? They always preface it with they're still very committed to this thing, but they've scrapped it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But still very committed to this thing, but not doing this thing anymore.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. This is Hochul, who's dumb.
And this will make families have to endure impossible choices. I will not stand by and let that happen. I believe that the goals of this law to build a clean energy future and strengthen our energy system for years to come is a noble one. I'm committed to it. But I also have to take...
Hold on. It's noble, and she's committed to it. Except for I'm now going to scrap it.
Except that, because it doesn't work.
Right, and it hurts people.
But it's noble.
And then but the more important part is how much she's committed to this thing that in the next 9 words, she's going to tell you we're scrapping. All right, go back 5 seconds just because it's funny.
Committed to it, but I also have to have responsibility to protect people from rising costs. If their path forward is only going to drive prices higher, then we have to act. And that's why I'm calling on the legislature to work with me in the next few weeks before the budget is due to come up with a common sense plan that understands the realities that we're dealing with today. This is not the world of 2019 as much as we wish it were when this law was first passed. We will not walk away from our climate goals.
No.
We'll make sure that the path we're on is realistic.
We're not going to walk away from our climate goals. I'm just scrapping the climate shit. But there's still a great commitment to it.
Yeah.
I'm just scrapping. I
taking,
love this company. I'm just quitting.
She's taking responsibility.
I'm not going to walk away from this company, but I am quitting.
That's good enough for the people who voted for her, though.
It is. When you're fucking dumb, and by the way, this is more chick think. It's just talk. The climate thing's just a fucking bullshit money grab. And by the way, it is easy to scrap bullshit money grabs. Like, here's the whole thing. Defund the police. That's going to affect people. Scrapping the climate bullshit affects nobody because it was made up in the first place. So that's the good news, right? I mean, no one cares.
Yeah.
It's not going to affect anybody.
No, it's not a real...
Hold on. We'll hear. Wait, go back another... Go back to almost the front. I just like that she has her goals and her commitments still. Go ahead.
And that's why I'm calling on the legislature to work with me in the next few weeks before the budget is due to come up with a common sense plan that understands the realities that we're dealing with today. This is not the world of 2019 as much as we wish it were when this law was first passed. We will not walk away from our climate goals, but make sure that the path we're on is realistic and fair to the people we serve. Because a climate policy that leaves working families behind is not a sustainable path forward.
All right. Well, all right. So let me just figure out this about Kathy Hochul. She told rich guys to hit the bricks and go to Florida and to get on a bus and take their shitty politics and get out of New York. We don't need them. And then she said, let's really focus on climate change. And now she's saying, hey, rich guys, could you come back and pay for everything? And we're going to scrap the climate change bullshit because we can't afford it.
Yeah, that's
all right. Well, maybe she's a shitty decision maker. Maybe her ideas are bad. Like this flip-flop thing. Like, how many times can you just have a shit idea, go all in on the shit idea, fuck everything up, and then announce, well, that was a bad idea before I think you're bad at what you do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're a football coach. Yeah. And it's 4th and 17. Yeah. And you got a 2-point lead. Yeah, I'm going for it. I'm handing the ball off. Really? I think you should punt. There's only 14 seconds left in the game, and if you get stuffed here, they're going to be in field goal range. I'm handing the ball off, and then you get stuffed, and then they kick a field goal and win the game. How many of those can you do as a head coach in the NFL before we decide you're a shitty head coach? You guys can just indefinitely, we want to defund the police. Nope. We want to fund the police. That was a bad idea. We want all the climate change bullshit. No, we can't afford it. No, we're going to close the schools. Oh, that turned out to be a bad idea, but we're going to open the border. That turned out to be a shit idea. How many are shitty? We're going to run the tax base out of the city, and then we're going to beg for them to come back. How long before we just realize you're a shit coach and your decision making is bad? And then why do people vote for this? It's so abundantly clear that she's incompetent.
They vote for it because she takes full responsibility.
She takes full responsibility for every shitty time she went for it on 4th down and 17 and gave the ball up.
I would have thought taking full responsibility would have been like, yeah, I resign. I quit. I'm not good enough to do this. But that's not it. I think the plan is she's just going to push back the deadlines on this act until she's reelected, and then maybe rewrite the law, because it's just from a numbers standpoint, it's not realistic. Cutting 40% by 2030, so 4 years from now,
of like carbon and stuff,
of greenhouse gas emissions from 1990 levels, and then by 2050, no less than 85%, which is
it's insane. But it's the greatest scam ever. You get a bunch of dunces, you put them in a room, they make goals. Here's our goal. I want an 85% reduction in harmful greenhouse gases. All right, let's go to Quiznos.
Yeah,
you guys aren't Elon Musk. You can't figure any of this shit out. You don't know how to do it.
No,
you make the proclamation, but that's it. Remember, Newsom was like, no more internal combustion engines sold in California after the date of 2030. Okay, here's what I would like. I would like to suspend gravity so I could float to work every day, thus not having to use an internal combustion engine. Dawson, you drive a big truck.
Yeah.
Should we suspend gravity so that you can swim to work like a cartoon when a dog would smell a pork chop?
You know, a lot of people say,
toward it?
I like to set goals that are, way out there, because we're dreamers.
We're dreamers.
Yeah.
We lead the nation in dreaming.
We are going to end gravity.
Yes, we're delusional. Right.
It is a New Year's resolution style of governing.
Yes.
It lasts until about January 15th. And then
also, they can't pull it off because they're too dumb to pull it off. Rick Caruso could tell, look, if Elon Musk said, I'm building a bullet train, I'd go, good, we're going to get a bullet train.
Yeah, let's go.
If Gavin Newsom says, I'm building a bullet train, we're going to get a donkey with 3 legs.
Well, speaking of which, that's our next news story here. Gavin Newsom was roasted for bizarrely comparing himself to the main character from the movie American Psycho. That's right. In a post on X Monday night, Newsom showed a split screen shot of his face side by side with actor Christian Bale from his portrayal of the serial killer in the 2000 Bret Easton Ellis adaptation.
Now, I know everyone loves that movie. I haven't seen it. That's going to upset you, Andrew.
It's a great movie, but that's not someone you're going to want to compare yourself to if you're, someone who wants to run for governor in about. I mean,
run for president.
Run for president in a. Hold on a sec. Do we have the tweet? Yeah, if you want to run for president in 2028, Patrick Bateman is not the guy you want people to think of. Yeah, and
we have the
tweet. Hold on, but it's also kind of just a weird thing people do where they say, "Hey, I look like this movie star," and it's never a good look for anyone.
Yeah. Well, he says what in the tweet?
For so many years, people have been saying that Patrick Bateman and I look alike. Now this pic has been going all over the place. What do you guys think?
All right. I don't know. I'd like them to not act like a psychopath or maybe a sociopath. Anyway, there's something wrong with Gavin Newsom. I don't know how else to explain that. And by the way, I don't say that about many people I disagree with. I go, they're douchebags or they're assholes or they're smart, but they're angry or mean, or most people are just money grubbers. But I do not say sort of sociopath. He is. He does not. Well, I was just talking to Bill O'Reilly about it. Bill O'Reilly got it right. He's a great politician. He cares about nothing. He'll do whatever all the time. He has no thoughts.
Yeah, he's a slick guy, and I will say this.
But by the way, slick, we do two things in our society. We glorify pimps, like that guy's got a strong pimp hand and a cane. It's like that guy takes underage girls and has guys fuck them in the street and then takes their money and beats them. It's not a cool guy. It's not a good guy. And the really slick politician,
no.
That's the guy who gets nothing done, but you can never pin anything on him.
No.
But he stands for nothing, which is who Gavin Newsom is. But by the way, 13 years ago, when I told him about the homeless problem and what we needed to do, he told me to fuck off.
Yeah.
So he doesn't care about any of it. He told me the real face of homeless.
The best reply to his Patrick Bateman tweet included this, where Gavin Newsom looks strikingly like Butthead.
That's right.
Yeah.
A Beavis and Butthead.
I can see that.
Yeah.
No, I'll say this. The older I get, the less interested I am in charismatic people because I don't give a shit.
Let me say this. Ellen is nice, and she's a bad person, according to the people who had to work with her. So I don't trust nice. And the nice version on the male side is charismatic, which is you're acting like this and doing that. You're trying to get me to believe something about you that you don't feel about you or that you feel is lacking in you. I used to tell people all the time, I always say I can act like an asshole because I'm not an asshole.
Yeah.
I can say whatever I want. I can say all the racist shit I want because I'm not racist. And I can say all the asinine things I want because I'm not a bad guy. But if you are a bad person and you sort of know who you are, you must spend your waking hours convincing everyone around you that you're not the person that resides inside you that you're aware of.
Yeah.
So Elon Musk just does what Elon Musk does because he doesn't think he's a bad person. If he's trying to protect that, then you would act differently. So there are those people, and it's Gavin Newsom. It's the deep leg crossers. I care. Look at I got a brooch and a deep leg cross. Look how much I care. And think about all those actors and how they sort of present versus who they actually are.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
So the people that are actually decent don't burn calories trying to convince you they're nice.
No.
At all. They just go about thinking themselves a decent person.
No.
And I think there's a lot to that. Women, the ones that are, and so all they talk about, I mean, you grab that clip, Dawson, of him recently. We played it on Adam What's-His-Nose's show where he was looking for his why, but not his if. And the guy just basically said to him, what do you do? Like, what's your subject? Like, what is your platform? Like, what do you want to get done?
The Adam Friedland podcast.
His answer was not only a non-answer, but it was wildly self-congratulatory. He's going to fight injustice like a fucking superhero. Listen to what he says. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't, like if you said to me, Adam, what do you, traffic, fucking can't stand traffic. Stupid people don't turn right on a red. Why does an arrow ever turn red? It should just blink yellow once it's done being green. I'd tell you for a half hour. Well, first we just talk about traffic, and then I talk about graffiti, then I talk about garbage, then I talk about homelessness. I'd go for 40 minutes. He gives no answer except for he is some sort of crusader for injustice.
Yeah, he gives a watered-down Tom Joad speech at the end of Grapes of Wrath. Wherever there's injustice,
right.
you're going to
I'll
see.
be there. Newsom is going to pop up. Yeah, wherever there's the French Laundry, wherever there's a $1,400 bottle of Pinot Noir, I will be there. Because that's really who he is. He doesn't do shit. And the guy just asked him, "What's the plan? Like, what do you want to do? What are you passionate about? What are your subjects?" And he talked about being a crusader for justice.
He's a crusader for justice, and that guy,
and helping the little person.
Even the interviewer had to stop him halfway through.
I did like when Adam was like, "Huh?
What?
What?" He literally went, "What?
Wait, what?
What? Yes, that's who he is. He's a bullshit artist. He doesn't have infrastructure, potholes, or anything to deal with. Here
we go.
It's perfect.
This is awesome.
And you're going to stop it, Dawson, because we're going to break it down because he's nuts. All right, here it is.
What is your defined political project? Like what throughout your career and like right now? Like what is the thing you want to accomplish like politically?
I don't have like a brand. I don't have a tag, "Make America Great," or the Great Society, or something like Medicare for all the billionaires. But but for me, no bullshit. It's just standing up for ideals, striking out against injustice. It defines my why. In every way, shape, or form.
He's striking out against injustice and standing up. Everybody on the left is standing up because they're so brave. Except for they have security details and they sit in air conditioning all day and they ruin the state they preside over. But his whole thing is standing up for injustice. Okay, that's his why, or whatever he's talking about. Here we go.
That's my why.
The Great Society, or something like Medicare for all the billionaires. But but for me, no bullshit. It's just standing up for ideals, striking out against injustice. It defines my why in every way, shape, form. Stand up for ideals, strike out against injustice. I'm a Sarge Shriver Democrat. I'm into that whole '60s, the vernacular of the '60s, solving for ignorance and poverty and disease, and the spirit of the '60s. And the spirit of
He's a Black Panther now.
He's going to stop poverty and disease. And he's going to stop disease.
He's striking out.
Striking out. All right, here we go.
Poverty and disease, and the spirit of the '60s, and the spirit of King, and and how the nonviolent movement, and Gandhi, and Havel, and Mandela, that moral authority, that whole space. That's the zeitgeist. Yeah. And that's me. That's my dad. That's my mom. That's the book, and that's my why. And so standing up for ideals is what Gay Merged. It was about what I'm doing right now to sort of push back. We can lose this country, and just feeling like I have to be held to account and strike out against the injustices of the day.
So if you had to define
pause it there. Strike out against the injustices of the day, whatever those are. He's fighting them. But he doesn't mention forest management and fires and things, and aqueducts and stuff like that. He's fighting out. He's lashing out against injustice. I do love the part where Adam goes, "Huh? What? What?" Go ahead.
The day.
So if you had to define it, like vote for me and you get
you tell
X.
me. You're better at this.
I don't know. I don't know who you. What
I just gave you my why, but how do you translate that into human?
What? So if you say like,
I like it. Listen, he's not capable of communicating. People, this is sexy to women. Women think this is good. They're like, "Oh yeah, I like this guy.
He means well.
He sins. He says nothing. He does nothing. He is nothing. He's nothing."
Yeah, and these are friendly confines for him.
I know. All right, let's see. Friday, Saturday, Norfolk, Nebraska, District Event Center. Early shows maybe sold out, at least Friday, but later shows got some tickets. Sunday, Lincoln, Nebraska, late show sold out. Early afternoon show got some tickets. And that's at the Howler Comedy Club. You go to adamcarolla.com for all the live stuff. Bill O'Reilly, just go to BillO'Reilly.com and find out what you need to know about all his events. Nice job, Andrew. And until next time, it's Adam for Andrew and Bill O'Reilly saying mahalo.